Welcome back to another video, boys and girls. Today we'll be going over a pretty hot topic in the Roblox anime community as of late. I saw Red Weeb talk about this in a video of his a few days ago, and I also saw Revolver Ags' response to it as well, and they both made great points, and I kind of wanted to drop my 2 cents in there as well too, and as well as correct the mistakes some of you have been making in regards to this topic as well. So let's get right into it. Now, bandit beating has been a huge topic of debate lately, and now first things first, let's get the correct definition of a bandit beater, because it seems a lot of you are actually mistaken on what a true bandit beater is. So a bandit beater is specifically a low effort RPG game where the primary form of leveling up is grinding and beating bandits back to back to back to back from island to island to island with zero to no replay value and god awful combat. You know, that's a true bandit beater. Now with that being said, I absolutely hate bandit beaters to all hell, and I'm sure you do too. Side rant, the ones I really hate the most are the ones that don't even like try to hide the fact that they're literally just milking money out of you, which granted is a lot of them, but some of them really feels like your money and your soul and life force is just being sucked out of you. Even if the graphics are pretty, you can just feel that life energy just being sucked out of you. It's like a damn slap in the face at that point, just trying to suck you dry. But while I'm saying that, it's weird because those are usually some of the most played games on the platform, especially anime wise. I'm looking at you, Bloxroos, and it's most likely because of the age of most Roblox players. They're all super young, so they will literally play anything. Like for example, Axior, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him. LOL, Rel Games? No thanks. Laughing emoji.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What?
Axior dropped a game called Fruit Warriors, and it's essentially just a Bloxroos ripoff. That's pretty much it, yeah. And while a lot of people are calling it garbage, and rightfully so, it literally has 10,000 players this current moment I'm looking at it. So, yeah, like, I respect it. I mean, he's getting his bag, so I don't even blame him. But I say all that to say there's such a huge market for bandit beating games on Roblox. Unfortunately, I mean, for Christ's sake, the most popular game on the platform right now is Bloxroos. But at least that game offers so much more than typical bandit beaters in terms of content and etc. And since the market is so huge for bandit beaters, most developers are just inclined to make a game exactly like that too, since it's A, less effort, and B, more money. Like, you would be dumb to not do that if anything. So I understand where it comes from, but it still sucks. it still sucks, bro. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is for now. But there is some salvation. There is hope. Now, this part of the video is the main point I really wanted to address because it sorta kind of gets on my nerves when people say this. But earlier, I described to you guys the definition of a true bandit beater, okay? I didn't describe it for no reason. I wanted to specify exactly what it was because a lot of the community now seems to think that any game that involves you fighting and beating bandits is just a bandit beater, when that's not true whatsoever. Okay, I saw a lot of people calling games like Arcane Odyssey a bandit beater, for example, or YBA, when they're really not. There are a lot of decent games on Roblox that aren't actually bandit beaters. I feel like a lot of people have sort of run with the narrative that every game is one, when that's not the case. Just because you fight bandits in a game does not make it a bandit beater. Arcane, for example, you can do so many things in game to level and progress. It's not solely limited to fighting bandits. You can take cargoes to different islands to get levels and money. You can fish for money or levels, or even get rare drops in game, or you can just follow the entire story mode throughout the game and get levels that way. There's so many ways to level in that game and so much exploration, which you also get levels for. It's actually just fun as heck. Now, people may have some gripes with the combat in game and whatnot, and I can agree with that, to be honest, but you not liking the game's combat does not mean it's always a bad game. Some of the most fun I've had on Roblox back in the day were games where the combat wasn't crazy good or out of this world. It was just fun, like Elemental Battlegrounds, for example. YBA as well, it's another game with a cool story mode and other game modes throughout, as well as PvP and ranked matches, etc. And that adds to the replayability, but it's not as in-depth as Arcane, obviously. The story mode and world building of Arcane is just really good for a Roblox game, but I still wouldn't call YBA a bandit beater either. To break it down for you, every game that's an RPG or adventure game that requires you to level up and get items in game will have you fighting mobs or NPCs. Like, how the hell else are you supposed to progress throughout the game? You just want to spawn in at max level already and like do nothing? Like, what the hell? And even then, there's some anime games on Roblox that don't require any bandit beating, like at all, such as ABA and Anime Showdown. But the difference is those games aren't RPGs, they're just arena fighters like Naruto Storm 4 or Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Like, the point of those games isn't to level up and get cool items, it's mostly PvP, so of course it is a little bit different, you know. But even then, those games don't tend to get as popular as RPG-esque games because those games have a smaller fan base but still pretty big. Like, calling Arcane Odyssey a bandit beater is the equivalent of calling Spider-Man on the PS4 a bandit beater. Both games have a story and require you to fight mobs. See how brain dead that argument is? Like, it just makes no sense, you know? How else are you supposed to play open world RPGs? Bandit beating is when it's solely just sitting there and you're rotting your days away locked in your room, punching an NPC that is not even fighting you back, really, bro. But yeah, man, just a quick little rant. Everyone keeps using that word in the completely wrong context, and it's low-key annoying, bro. Like, some games just do not deserve that label. But anyways, all in all though, I would have to say I agree more along with Revolver Ags' take in the sense of Arcane isn't a bandit beater, but I also see exactly where Red is coming from, simply because he is 100% right. The platform is just littered with bandit beaters, bro, like 24/7, bro. That's all it is. So I get it. I do understand the frustration, but hey man, what can you do? We just gotta stick through it, and hopefully the games that aren't bandit beaters come out and shine bright, okay? I can't wait for that, but I gotta go beat my meat. If you guys like the topic and like the video, leave a like, man.